So recently I played a final round of a ranked match, and well, it was a 2v3. Oh,
Okay.
oh,
You're
that's,
standing on my mines.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we wiped him, we wiped him! Steal, 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 steal!
Okay. Holy shit. We're too goated!
And even though it was 2v3, my brother and I were still able to make it work.
Off defib?
Man, I don't know what.
I took it off. I don't know.
I just dropped my goo grenade for defib, but I don't know.
I'm running glitch trap now, which might be good.
Alright, so going into this final round, my brother and I, we weren't very confident. We were very confused on what we should bring. It was 2v3, we were outnumbered. We didn't know how to change our loadout to better fit a 2v3 game. So we just kind of was very hesitant on what we should change. So this is the loadout I went with. I'm not entirely sure what my brother went with, but he's running Glitch Trap, and I know he's running Explosive Mine also. But so here's my loadout. So I have Dematerializer. I think Dematerializer is really good, especially when you're in a 2v3 situation, because you can move the cash out, you can do stuff with the Dematerializer, you can move, you can drop enemies, you can isolate people. It's just super good, especially if you're super good at Dematerializer. And I'm not saying I am, but I've been using Dematerializer quite a bit lately. I'm also using the AKM. And you can use whatever weapon you want, to be honest, but the three main medium weapons are the shotgun, the F-car, and the AKM. This is before the F-car nerf, so take that as you will. But the main reason I'm running the AKM is because my teammate's running a shotgun. So I personally think that running a rapid fire hit scan weapon like the AKM is better with weapons that do high amounts of damage with a low ammo count. So take this for example. Say my teammate uses his shotgun bullet to damage an enemy to a very low HP. Let's say the enemy is at 50 HP. It's not really justifiable to use another shotgun bullet to finish off that enemy. So if I'm using the AKM, I can kill that enemy for my teammate so he can use his shotgun bullet to kill someone else. And since the shotgun does a lot of damage, it's better to use it on another enemy that has more HP, because then you're not wasting damage on killing a guy with 50 HP. My AKM can do that because each bullet is lower damage, and I can use those bullets for another person after I kill a low health enemy. And that's why I think always having a balance between high damage and low damage weapons on your team is super effective, because you can always minimize the amount of damage that's wasted on overkilling an enemy. The next thing I'm running is Defibrillator, and obviously that's very good, but I don't know about how good it is, particularly in multiple medium compositions. I think having one or two defibrillators is good, but if you have three mediums on a team, I don't think all three of you should run defibrillator, because I feel like if you drag a fight out that long, it's not very great for your team. And obviously I'm running APS turret. APS turret is a good way to prevent the enemies from putting you in bad positions. So getting rid of RPGs and stuff like that. But also it's very good for taking control of a site. So say if you were attacking a cash out and you go under the cash out and you place an APS on the floor, and then you dematerialize the cash out down to you, you would also get rid of all the utility that's on the cash out. So like mines, C4, and then there's just no way the enemy team can use those utility against you because your APS has killed them all. So you just basically got rid of their entire defense with just one APS turret and a dematerializer, which is why I bring APS with dematerializer usually, because that's a really effective way to attack the cash out as well as defend the cash out. And the last thing I bring is explosive mine, and I think explosive mine is the greatest equalizer in the game. Not only does it give you the firepower to be able to 1v2 or 1v3, it gives you the ability to do damage and clear an area. What do I mean by clear an area? I mean like making an area inaccessible to the enemy without exposing themselves. So like say you're in a building and you put explosive mines on the stairs. Now if that explosive mine explodes, you know where the enemy is and the enemy is hurt. Maybe. But if they shoot the explosive mine, you still know where they are, so you're still gaining a benefit from using explosive mine. Now say if you put two explosive mines and you get a free kill, that makes the explosive mine even better, because you didn't have to waste any bullets to kill that person. You just used two explosive mines to kill that person, and then you're already getting a free pick. And you know where the enemy died, so you can also camp their body because you got the information. You know where the explosive mine was and where it exploded, so obviously you know where the enemy died. But so yeah, I think explosive mine is very good in a medium kit, probably an S tier gadget. So yeah, that's my loadout. My brother is also running explosive mine, so this makes this 2v3 sort of easier because Really, we just need to manipulate the enemy into our explosive mines to really get an advantage over them and make it really hard for them to abuse their numbers advantage against us. So here is the first fight.
Team to reach 20,000 will be our winners.
They're behind. They're left.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
You're
that's
standing on my mines.
Yeah.
I'll just die.
Alright, so that first fight didn't really go so well. I think pressing this vault here is a mistake. I don't think it's very smart to start opening a vault unless you have a clear advantage. And in this situation, we're sort of at a disadvantage at every fight because we're down a player. So hitting this vault doesn't really make sense. You're kind of speeding up the time it takes for the enemy to sort of start a cash out, and that's not something you want to do. Because if you're at a disadvantage and you start a vault, it's likely that you're going to lose the fight, and that just sort of accelerates the enemy's movement towards the cash out with the vault, which gives them the defensive position. So you want to stall out the vault as long as possible until you have the advantage. So in this situation, I don't think me opening this vault was a very smart idea, and as a result, when we lose this fight, the enemy team gets the vault quicker, and they were able to get into a site quicker and get that defensive positioning way quicker also. Another thing I want to highlight is like my teammate is placing explosive mines next to the vault, and this vault is in the wide open. It's not like in a building or anything, so I don't think that's very smart either. I think explosive mines should always be inside a building where it's not very noticeable, or around a corner, anywhere where it's not very easily seen, because once the explosive mine is seen, it's sort of like, okay, they're just going to walk around it, especially in an open area like the street. And another thing that I did pretty badly here was stay outside and trying to take a 1v3 fight against the people in the forest. And taking this fight is very bad because I'm assuming that I'm going to be able to do more damage than all three of them combined. And not only that, I was standing on my teammate's mine, which I didn't really notice at the time, which led to me dying because an enemy RPG'd me, which exploded the mines also. And once I died, I think my teammate made a good decision to just die also, because if he extended that fight, I would have to coin, and that would be like another 20 seconds of us just wasting time. And when I coin, there's no guarantee that I will spawn next to my teammate so we can regroup. Making sure we team up here just to spawn together and make sure we coordinate the attack for next fight. It was very smart here.
Alright, we're gonna somehow play for picks. If we can pick off their medium, it's playable.
The reason why my brother says this is because since we're at a disadvantage numbers wise, we sort of have to find a way to isolate the enemies, which would level the playing field a lot more. He also says that we should focus our medium. And the reason why he says this is because they're playing heavy, light, medium. So that means the medium is sort of the only person that's playing a support role in a way that they can defib and also heal beam. So we should probably kill him first so he doesn't have a chance to give the other players a chance to be revived and stuff like that.
Maybe try and drop one of them.
Yeah, I could try. Oh, he's in the room.
That's okay. I'm a machine.
Oh, I got one.
Okay. Nice.
Two. Oh, he dropped.
I'm really low. Nice. We're too fucking good.
So that fight went a lot better. One of the things that went really well for us here is that we decided to go under the site and try to take control of the site from there. But lucky for us, the light decided to take a 2v1 fight running right into us while we were trying to take the under control. And then you can see here is like the way my brother and I's weapons kind of mesh together really well here is that like he shoots one shot at the light, so the light immediately becomes like one shot to my gun, which makes it very efficient. My brother didn't have to use a second shotgun shot, which he uses later. And the second good thing that happens here is that I demat the floor, and luckily a medium happened to be jumping right where I was dematting, so I was able to isolate him from the heavy, forcing the heavy to use his charge and slam to get down to the next floor, which made it so he wouldn't be able to use charge and slam later on us. One thing I could have done better here is by placing my APS down so that it wasn't possible for us to get destroyed by an RPG, and make it less likely that frag grenades and stuff like that would be coming towards the room or in the room at all. And I probably also should have set up my mines as well. Luckily, my brother's mines come in clutch here, able to put down that medium down to very low HP, and we were just able to clean it up very easily with a 2v1 on the heavy. Or one of the greatest things that we did this fight was that we successfully isolated three 2v1s in a row without having to take a full-on fight. And if I was the enemies here, I would be severely questioning my Light's decision to play under there. While the Light's job is not really to be playing with the team, I don't think it really makes much sense for the Light to be under the objective. There's not really much Light utility that makes sense to be playing under the objective, and a lot of the Light's weapons are mainly for recon and scouting, so I think the best spot for the Light here is to play above the hotel, giving communications to his team, and this will give his teammates a better idea of how to play this sort of scenario. And the last thing a Light wants to do is get into a situation where he has to fight everyone by himself. So a lot of the times the Light should be baiting his team and trying to play off of their contact instead of having his teammates play off of his contact. For the medium and heavy though, I feel like they didn't really play wrong per se. Just playing on the floor the site is on or in the same room as the site, it's so vanilla, very obvious. With their man advantage, I would probably also put them on the roof as well with the Light. So they just have total control over the area, able to see where we are coming from, and also do damage to us as we're coming towards the site. And with the heavy playing charge and slam, if you're above the site, you have advantage. Not only can you charge and slam down towards the site, you can also make holes before the fight even begins above the site, so you can have control and even jump down with a charge and slam to do damage that way.
They're back. Alright, I got glitches on it, so there should be no domes to worry about.
As you can see here, we've decided to sort of play under the site because that's where our kit is usually the greatest, because since I'm playing DMAT, I can drop the site whenever, and since we're playing defense, we don't have to take a fight head on necessarily to win the cash out. We just need to stall it out as long as possible, and that's where sort of the DMAT sort of comes in handy. And as you can see here, I'm also having an APS under the floor of the cash out, and this serves a lot of purposes, but the main purpose in this scenario is to stop the dome shield from going directly onto the site, because the worst case scenario would be if the enemy was able to get onto the site with a dome shield. That would force my brother and I to get in close to the dome shield, where we're kind of forced to take a 2v2 or a 3v2, which is not very great for us. So the APS serves that purpose, but my brother also has a glitch trap on the site, so that also can prevent the dome shield in the case that my APS gets broken, which is very unlikely since it's under the cash out. But the good thing about the glitch trap is that if they break it, we know they're up there, but if they trigger it and one of them or two of them gets glitched, if the medium gets glitched, they can't heal anymore, which gives us a huge advantage. Even if the heavy gets glitched too, that prevents him from charging, which is also very great for us.
They all went up the zip on the outside.
I'm up. I'm gonna be.
Alright. Slam. Oh.
No! Ah, he's half, but there's invis somewhere.
Oh my god, we wiped him, we wiped him! Steal, 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 steal!
Okay. He stepped on my mine or something?
He stepped on mine.
Holy shit. We're too goated!
While that fight didn't go really as planned, it still worked out in the end for us. I'm not exactly sure why my brother wanted me to go under in that scenario, but I did try to listen to him. But then once I heard the charge slam, I started to move away. Then my brother was all of a sudden outside, and that's not very great, especially when we don't know exactly where all the enemies are. So he does get killed there, but he's able to do some damage to the heavy, which is okay. And when my brother first dies, my first thought is like, maybe I should go for a res here. And generally, we don't want to do a res out in the open and with multiple enemies looking at the body. There's a term that my friend group uses for these type of reses, and it's called a John res. And the reason we call it a John res is because a person in my friend group named John does these type of reses all the time, and it's really bad. And the reason why these type of reses is bad, and I see this in a lot of players, is that it's bad because if your teammate dies isolated, the enemy knows that your teammate's dead there, so obviously they're going to be keeping an eye on that body. And if you're just going to go in and res him, the enemy's going to see you, and you're going to lose that advantage of them not knowing where you are. And then you're going to have a teammate that can't really help you because they're being resed. So it's not very advantageous for you to just go for a res, hoping that your teammate can do damage instead of just you doing damage. So it's not very smart. So the best play here is to just try and get the kill, and try and open up an opportunity for you to get a res. And that's sort of what I do here. I kill the heavy, but after I get the kill, I immediately try and get to cover because I know there's another enemy there somewhere. But I actually do a sort of a juke on him by dematting the wall. He doesn't really expect that, and I'm able to get the res off. And since my teammate's using a shotgun and it's a light player, it's pretty easy for my brother to get the kill here on the light, especially at such a close range. Because we set up the site with so many mines and such, the medium that was playing by himself apparently, that stole the cash out, he accidentally ran into my mines, even though I'm not sure how that even happened because I placed the mines in the room, and if he stole the cash out, he should have seen the mines. But that does happen, and I'm able to give the call out to my brother, who doesn't know that that person dies. So that's another thing, is like always try to have good communication with your teammates, because they can see things that you don't, and you can see things that they don't. If my brother knows team wipe, that could have been really bad, because look at how much time left is on the cash out, and we probably could have lost if I didn't communicate that as soon as possible. And looking at this from the enemy's perspective, this was supposed to be almost unlosable for them. They could have played it better by having the medium play with the heavy instead of having the medium go for the steal. Assuming that the medium's playing heal beam, it's like way better with the heavy, and my brother got picked off there. Medium could have just healed up the heavy so he wouldn't be half HP. And it would be impossible for me to 1v2 them and get the res. And with the light stealing, it would be impossible for me to do that and get the steal back. That would have been a really easy win for the 3-man team. So we win that cash out, and I don't really have the footage for the next fight. But basically, we lose that fight, we get team wiped, and basically the enemy team has defensive position on the next cash out. And so we have to attack again. But for some reason, the enemy's heavy decided to DC. Maybe he rage quit or something, I'm not sure. It's now a 2v2, and the basis of our attack plan is just the same. Just play under, try and get control of the cash out, force the enemies into a bad position.
Winnable? This is fucking guaranteed, Spoopy. Come on.
Can drop it if you want.
Alright.
Yeah.
There's
no
a
way I got
APS
good
on
info
it.
that, man.
I might need to use 2 of them to get it down. Oh, all 3 it is.
Just steal it.
Medium
like
is
this.
1.
Oh my. Wow, he fucking domed me. They res.
Oh. Just late. He naded.
Oh shit, I'm so low. He's at the door.
Nice. Good.
I mean, it wasn't super smooth, but we win the fight. Notice before I dropped the cash out, I placed my mines in the APS. One of the biggest issues at the beginning of this is like I had to use 3 DMATs, so which was really bad. And I think I could have done it with just 1 or 2, but I wasn't really paying attention to like the light fixtures and like the random stuff that's like on the ceiling that I needed to break to make the cash out fall through, which is super annoying, especially when you're using Dematerializer. You kind of expect the game to be consistent. I definitely could have played that better. My brother did a really bad thing here, since like we have a lot of time on a cash out, so we don't really need to be trying to steal the cash out per se. It's fine to tap it for a little bit just to try and fake it or bait a reaction from the enemy team. He actually holds it for quite a while, which lets him just get beamed by the light. Luckily, I'm able to trade it out though, which is good. But it also puts me in a position where I have to use my defibrillator, and the enemy also uses their defibrillator, so we're sort of on the same footing still. But I eventually do shoot out the light fixtures, and the cash out does come down to our floor, which gives us sort of an advantage. And I think that kind of makes the enemy's medium jump down for some reason, even though that was a really bad play from him, because he was already low and he was just so easy to kill. And that puts us in a 2v1 situation. I try to cover my teammate as much as possible here, especially since he's low HP from getting naded. I eventually am able to get a mine down on one of the doors, which I wasn't expecting to really do much because it wasn't like right on the door, but it does go off, and my teammate's able to get a shotgun shot on the enemy. I also want to point out my brother's positioning here. He strategically positioned himself behind this pillar here because he knows the light is attacking from 2 spots. There's 2 doorways on the left and right. So if he positions himself here and steals the cash out, he knows the light can't really peek him from the right side. So he's banking on the light from peeking him on the left side, which is really smart because it makes it so that you don't have to worry about the right side as much because the enemy would have to push very deep to be able to stop you. And if I'm the enemy team here, I would try to abuse my invis a lot more and try to get a fast kill by either like a flank or whatever, and not just shooting through one of the doorways where we know he could be coming from. And if I'm the medium in this situation, I don't know why I'm dropping for no reason. But yeah.
Just fucking minefield around the cash out. Healing you.
Got it.
Just gonna... Nice. Too simple.
And yeah, so here, I mean, our strategy here is just to stall out, because like the cash out is really close to being finished, and by the time they get here, it'd be really close to finished. The main good thing about this that we're doing is that we're playing off the site, if that makes sense. 'Cause we're not playing right on the cash out. Because if we played right on the cash out, it would be too easy for the enemies to just like, oh yeah, these guys are right on the cash out, just shoot at them. Obviously, if we played right on the cash out, there's like no cover. It's exactly where the enemies expect us to be because that's the objective. But if we play off the site, we can try and chip them down while they're heading towards the site in a wide open area. And not only that, if they're trying to kill us before getting to the objective, they're going to have to go away from the site to do that, which is all very major pluses for us. And that basically concludes my video, and I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.
This is why I get 6 viewers and Ty gets 2.